Hello and welcome to Share It with Ishani podcast, where I share stories about people like you and me to educate, empower, and inspire you all. And I'm Ishani Gupta, radio anchor and public speaking coach. So before we begin, here's a reminder to please subscribe to my channel for more interesting episodes and some tips on public speaking and motivation. Well, talking about today's episode, we are going to talk about clearing of subconscious blocks and how these blocks can be cleared. And we'll also talk about, as a public speaker, how you can get rid of your stage fright using these energy healing techniques. And we are going to do that by our guest who is going to share these techniques, these important insights with us today on this show. She is the author of the Mystic Storyteller series, and she is an energy healer. She has helped people clear the subconscious blocks, not only within South Africa, but also across the world, in Canada, in the USA, then New Zealand and Hong Kong. So please let us welcome Beryl Brookman. Hi, Beryl. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm so well. And you, how are you, Shani?
I'm really great, and I'm really excited to have you on our show. Like, this is really a great pleasure.
Yeah, I'm so excited about this. It's just, I love connecting with people all over the world, and then people who've got such a reach to so many people, and we need to get this message out there, and I'm here for that. So
Amazing, great. So, Beryl, please tell our viewers that how you started this journey as an energy healer. Like, this is really an interesting topic. We'd really love to know about how you started all of this and became a great energy healer and are helping so many people out there.
yeah, well, this is more interesting to me than anybody else because it's so surprising how I ever got this far. You know, energy healers are generally very psychic. They feel energies, they see crazy things. And, you know, in India, Indian people themselves are very open. You know, they're very, I don't want to say psychic, but they are very intuitive. Okay, so they'll understand what I'm talking about. But I had no idea it was like this at all. Growing up, I was just very ordinary, and I did all the things you do. I got married, I had children, and like this marriage never worked for me. Okay, for whatever reason, It was just, it never worked. So I was always looking for answers, how to improve my marriage, how to get a better life, how to be happier, because I was quite depressed, and how to I knew I was born. That's the funny thing. I knew that I was born to do something. And I know not everybody has that feeling, and you don't have to, but it just was my case. I knew there was something out there, and I think a lot of people have that, but they have no idea what it is, and they're continually searching. And so I just knew there was something I could do, but I had no idea what it was. So anyway, so I went on the search of looking for how to improve my life, because I knew as well that you can't change people around you. You can't make them think differently. It's an insult to ask other people to be different, you know? Rather look at yourself first. And so I was trying to find for myself what I could change about myself, how I could change my world by changing me. What was wrong with me? What were my problems? And I started this whole internet journey in 2008 was when we got internet. Okay, before then we didn't have it at home. So I got that for my birthday, and that was the beginning of my freedom, actually. Because, and when I say freedom, I don't mean just, not that I wasn't free before, but this freedom means living my life on my own terms, making my decisions, making my own mistakes, doing whatever it was that I felt I wanted to do. And so just by getting the internet gave me that opportunity. And then I took my search and I went through all the self-help things, and how to make your marriage better, how to improve your health, you know, and there's all of these self-development tools out there. There's millions of them out there now, and even then, but all of them were about, you know, you had to sit and say affirmations till they came out of your ears. You had to meditate for hours or 20 minutes every day. You had to do this, you had to goal plan, you had to do all of this. But I didn't have the time to do that. So, you know, and then what I found was that the one key piece of advice was you have to change your subconscious, because your subconscious mind actually is programmed from so many sources at birth, from your parents, from the communities around you, from the people around you, from the social status around you, from your past lives, from your grandparents. I mean, it's not fair. Okay? So you come in and you're programmed with all of this, and it goes into your subconscious, and it decides and if you are working 80% with your subconscious, which we are about there, you know, we think we're choosing, but we're actually not. We think in our conscious mind we're choosing. So the conscious mind, so I realized that all these affirmations, all of those meditations, all of those things was actually trying to do it with my conscious mind. And if you only change 10-15% of your mind, well, that's not going to make a difference, is it? So I realized I had to learn to change my subconscious blocks. And then through my searches, you know, it was like a rabbit hole, going down a rabbit hole and following the leads like a treasure hunt. Eventually I found a methodology through a person in the States. His name was Brent Phillips. I don't know if he's still doing this work, but he had this club where you could change your blocks for you. You could change your subconscious beliefs by just sending them to him. He just showed you how to test whether you've got them or you haven't got them. And then you sit there for an hour and listen to him, and lo and behold, you'll say, okay, maybe I have to be rich. Maybe this is a belief you're holding. I have to be rich. And you send that, and he would change it. So you test, I have to be rich, and your subconscious says yes. And then he'd change it, and then it would say no. And this was like miraculous to me, because he was sitting in the States and I'm sitting in South Africa. And what he did say was that if you find one doesn't change, because that does happen, there's a deeper problem, okay? And then you need to find a practitioner in this modality which he was in, which is theta healing. So I found a person in Joburg, and actually that was in 2011. I think I went for 3 sessions, and they'd last about an hour, and my life changed. I knew exactly what I should be doing. I knew why I should be doing it and how to do it, because I got guided every step. And this is just by tapping into my own energy field. And I learned to do that. And then I also realized, because when I did the first course, which is only 3 days long, I realized I was actually born to do this. I already knew this stuff, even though it was wild to me. I mean, they were talking about aliens and things, and like, no, I don't go there. And talking to dead people, I don't do that, you know? And I just found it was so easy, so natural, and I was just born to do it. And I said, this is what I was born to do. And that's how I found it. And subsequently, I actually left the marriage. It all worked out very well, and my life changed, 180 degrees. I was going downhill in happiness to now I'm just scaling Everest in happiness, levels. It just gets better every day. And I did that, and I did it really single-handedly with this technique. And I thought, if I can do this for myself, I can sure as nuts do it for anybody else there. And so since 2012, I've developed my own modality using those basic techniques, but going far deeper. And
I actually, I follow personally some of the YouTube channels that are talking about the subconscious mind and how you can tap into it and get the life you want to have. All those things, like there are so many tips and tricks and techniques that are being shared on YouTube out there. So, what would you like to say about those techniques that are being shared?
Yeah, so I haven't watched too many because once I found this technique, then nothing touches it. It is super fast. It takes
Okay.
minutes, okay? Minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so profound, and you know what's happening, you can see it. Okay, but besides that, all the ones that I found on YouTube and that, they just don't touch the surface. It's either they'll tell you you've got to do this, but they don't exactly tell you how to do it. Okay, they don't, because they
Okay.
don't know themselves.
Yeah.
They're not going to tell you that they don't know themselves, but they go to a level that's not deep enough. Like, so anybody can learn to do what I do. Okay, you can learn to do it, but not everybody should, and not, everybody. Sometimes it's just better to go to somebody who knows how to do it very fast, and boom, that's it. And then you don't spend time learning the technique and worrying if you've got it right. Because I mean, I've done a lot of work on myself, and the more blocks you lift for yourself, the clearer you are. Okay, the better you are at finding the blocks that other people have. So, it's, you can do it, and people do, but they don't tend to use it as much as they should. Now, I went crazy. I worked, the moment I'd done the courses, I really worked hard on myself. I went through all the books, I found all the belief systems. So I now have my own courses that I give on lifting. So there's one called Blockbusters. Okay, so that's just, I've got lists of health, wealth, and happiness blocks and professional speaking blocks as well. Okay, and there's 50 on every
Okay.
page, and then I'll show the person how to test whether they've got them or they haven't, and then I'll sit down with them, and then I'll just clear them for them in about half an hour. And it's exceptionally profound because it leads you to things you didn't know were there, and everybody's unique. So it's very tricky to tell you about it. So to cut a long story short, is that on YouTube, I have yet to see one that satisfies me, that they know what they're talking about.
Oh,
Okay.
I get it. It is like you know what you know, if you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, and there's a lot of people out there that do what I do, okay, and very well. And every person has their own, because you come with your own experiences and your own structure and what you know, okay, and that is often, although when I work with a client, I keep myself out of it. I'm not there. It's almost as if I'm not there. But you have to relate to something that they do. So you find experiences in your own life that you can use as a metaphor, for instance, for them. So yes, it's all out there, but there is a quick fix. I have quick fixes.
Yeah,
Okay, they're very
quick fixes.
okay, but if you don't
Yeah,
know how to do it, you can't do it.
yeah, exactly. I get the point. So, my next question to you is like, what is basically a subconscious block, and how exactly would people know that? How would they realize that they have one around them?
Okay, this is the classic one. The classic one. Do you have a girlfriend or a friend who keeps having the same toxic relationship?
Yes,
They
yes,
always
I
find the
have.
drunk, disorderly boyfriend. Those are the ones they love. Or they love the mafia type, you know? Now that
Yes,
is their subconscious is making them make those, they know he's a derelict, I can't, it's not going to turn out well. They know it, but they can't help themselves. And that is a subconscious block. Why is that there?
wow, that was mind blowing. I mean, you don't even realize that you have one, but you are basically in a same pattern. You are going round and round and round.
Exactly. Your patterns, when you recognize a pattern,
Yeah.
That's subconscious blocks. Now, then there's a whole lot of subconscious blocks you have no idea you have. Okay? That you don't have. You don't have a choice. And we all are working so much in our subconscious. We think it's us that's making the decisions, but it's this other sort of force that we're stuck with. And so if you had, say, a mother who, when you were having a tantrum at the age of 2, and your mother, because she was freaking out, said, "I hate children," okay? Okay, she might have not, she didn't mean it, but like she was tearing her hair out. It was bad at the time. And that little 2-year-old could have just taken that on. And then, from then on, always has a problem with mothers because they have the subconscious programming that mothers hate children. And you can imagine what kind of, they're never going to see a mother in a warm, so they'll probably, if it was a boy, they'd have probably, wouldn't want to have children with anybody, because that person was going to hate children. And they don't even know they've got it. And it's not fair. I think this is not fair in our world. So I'm here to stop it not being fair. I'm a little bit for humanity. This is my contribution to the human art. Let's get rid of the blocks that don't serve us.
Absolutely. Okay, so my next question to you is that there are people from different walks of life. There are students, professionals, then we have homemakers, people who are looking for jobs, and they are struggling every single day. So what would you say, like, do you believe that energy healing can help them with their struggles?
Okay, so energy healing can help everybody. Okay, every single person should at some time in their life go and have this done, where they find out the major blocks that they have. But my thing is this: I do not like to work with children. It's not right. Okay, I rather, if a mother comes to me and their child is problematic, I deal with the mother, not the child. Okay, and then I'm also wary of working with people who are under the age of 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. I do, but I don't generally, because in my opinion, you've got to make your mistakes. You have to go through difficulties. You have to, otherwise you don't grow. How do you learn? If I came in and solved all your problems for you, would I be doing you any favors? No. You'd just be dependent on somebody always sorting out your problems for you. You must learn to sort them out. So I like to help people help themselves, and usually from 30 onwards, 28 upwards, whether you're a homemaker, I mean, especially homemakers, especially people in cultural difficulties. How do I negotiate the family? I'm told I have to do this, that, and the other thing, and I really don't want to do that, but I love my spouse. How am I going to deal with that? And you do that by changing your own vibration. So as an example, I had a client who I've told this before, but she had a dysfunctional family, and it was really dysfunctional. She didn't have a good relationship with her mother. She had no relationship with her father, and her brother was a layabout. And she came to me, and we started just working on her own businesses and her own self, and lifting the blocks and the beliefs that she had embedded in her from all her past, etc., etc. And as she did that, she didn't tell her family she was doing this. She didn't go to them and say, you need to do this, that, and the other thing and be different. She just changed. And in her change, it reflected, they couldn't respond to her in the same way anymore. It had to change. So their relationship started to shift. And now they all have a much happier life together. It's not perfect, but she has a lovely relationship with her mother now, and it made a huge difference. So just by working on yourself, and I think that's my key message, If you want to change the world, you change yourself. Okay?
Absolutely.
You can't do it any other way. You can't change anything else. Change yourself. Be the best you can be.
Absolutely.
And people around you will respond differently. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I completely agree with you.